Hi everyone, welcome back to the day 19, I guess, yeah, day 19 session from the WebDriver series. And the topics for today are, in the previous session we learned how to get the different links, all the links from the web page, verify those links are returning 200 or some status code, and also you can write those hyperlinks into some text file for your further reference. Today we will be learning other topics from a WebDriver, that is WebDriver listener. Okay. Then second is capturing screenshot. So these are small topics I will try to cover, and then if we get time we can move ahead with the next other topics as well. But let's cover these two topics first. Talking about WebDriver listener. So the first thing, what is listener? In programming, listener is considered as some action will be done based on some trigger. So there is some trigger, and this trigger leads to action. And listener is basically listens that trigger and performs that action. So that is what listener is. So listener listens the trigger and performs some action. So trigger, in the sense, there could be different types of a trigger. Now that, for example, is before opening a URL do something, after opening URL do something, before searching an element, before finding element do something, after finding element do something. Let's say before clicking on an element do something, and after clicking on element again do something. So this is all WebDriver event I talked about. Okay, so let's see how to use WebDriver event. So again, as usual, I will create a new project. Sometimes this question is asked in interviews, right? So what is WebDriver listener, and what are the different methods in WebDriver listener? So I'm just creating a Maven project. It's a day 19. Group ID is com.vikas.learning, and artifact ID is day 19 WebDriver listeners. Okay, artifact ID cannot contain space, so I will just add hyphen. Say finish. That's going to create a new project, and I need to edit the pom.xml. Okay, I already copied those dependencies tags so that it will save my time, and save it. Once saving is done, I will add a class, okay, to the project in src test Java. Obviously, the class name I want to give is let's say example1 is my class name, and there I will write a test case. So the test case which I'm going to write, generally what we do is, generally we say WebDriver, let's say test1. Okay, generally what we say is, first I need to write system.set property. Property name is WebDriver.chrome.driver, the path to the Chrome driver. So I will give that path as //driver/Chrome driver.exe. All right, so then we write WebDriver interface object is equal to new Chrome driver. Okay, this is what we write generally. But guys, in case of event, let's say what I wanted to do is I wanted to add some listener. Okay, so let's create a listener first. So let's say it's my WebDriver listener. Okay, the name is my WebDriver listener, which actually implements WebDriver event listener. So you see this WebDriver event listener, it is interface, and interfaces are always implemented. When I say interface is implemented, that means this class must provide definition to all unimplemented method. So I'm just saying add unimplemented method. Okay. So the different unimplemented methods are after accept alert, after dismiss, after change value of, after click on. So this is our after all after method. Similarly, there are before method, so before alert dismiss, before change value of. So the code which you will be writing here, it will be automatically executed before changing the value of some element. Or let's say, if you are writing some code here, that code will be automatically executed before clicking on an element. So similarly, there is a before click on. Similarly, there is a method after click on. So I will show that after click on. So yeah, so this is the method, after click on. So what you can do is you can implement WebDriver event listener and just add provide definition to all these empty method. Okay, that is one option. Or other option is, the problem is, sometimes we are not really interested in implementing or giving definition to all the methods. So what you have to say is just simply say extends WebDriver. Actually, there is an abstract class WebDriver. Okay, not really. Let me find out the class. I forgot the name actually. Okay, this is an interface. This interface is implemented in some abstract class. So I'm just trying to recall the name of that abstract class. Okay, the name of the class is abstract. Okay, it is not implements, it is extends, because for classes we extend it. So abstract WebDriver event listener. So when I'm extending abstract, that means abstract classes will have all the empty methods which are coming from the WebDriver event listener interface. So let's say if you want to, what I'm going to say is before. So I will say before which method? Let's say before navigate to. Okay. So before navigate to, this is the method which will be called before you actually navigate to that URL. So I'm just saying before opening URL. I'm just printing some line, Similarly, you can have after navigate to. Okay, there you will print page or URL opened in browser. Okay, so these are the two simple methods which I wrote. So all right, let's go back to the example, that is example 1. Now in this case we don't create Chrome driver instance, all right, because I want to use the event firing driver. Okay, so I will say new event firing WebDriver. Okay, but that event firing WebDriver takes object of the driver itself. Driver, it means it actually takes object of Chrome driver or Firefox driver, whichever driver you have. So I'm just saying new Chrome driver here. Okay, so I'm saying WebDriver driver equal to new event firing driver, and to that constructor again I'm passing new Chrome driver, that is the object of Chrome driver. All right, so okay, but still this is not going to work because we need to register an event, So what I will say is, instead of WebDriver, I will say it event firing driver. And the driver dot register. Okay. Okay. As I said, you need to register the event handler, event listener basically. So the event listener is basically the object of WebDriver event listener. So I already have that class created. You see this my WebDriver listener. Let's create object of my WebDriver listener. Listener is equal to new my WebDriver listener. What I did is I created simple object, and that object I'm going to pass it here. All right. So the listener I have registered is this. So if I say driver.get, okay, and there I'm saying http:// automatically those two methods will be called. Before opening that URL, it will call. Let's go to that method. It will call before navigate to method. So this will be printed. All right, and after navigate to will be automatically called as soon as the page is loaded into your browser. Okay. So you don't have to explicitly call those methods every time. This will be automatically get invoked. Let me show you a sample demo. I'm just going to run that code and see if it works. All right, come back to the console and see before opening URL opened in browser. So these are the two lines which are automatically printed because that action, that method is getting automatically called on before navigate to and after navigate to triggers, events basically. Okay, so those events, these are the two different events executed. All right, now you can do it similarly for anything, almost all the events you have. For example, @ I will say before change value, before click on, so it takes a parameter web element, which element you want to click, the driver object if you want, and there you can just have your own code. So for example, clicking on element, okay, and you can print that element also. Okay, here I'm saying URL opened, and let's print that URL, the URL which is actually opened, that is URL. Okay, let's say I wanted to print the HTML source code here only as soon as the URL is opened, so HTML, or let's take page title. Page title is driver.getTitle, if you remember that method, So opening URL, which URL we want to open? Let's print that URL. Okay, and if you want to do something with the driver, you can do that as well. So here I'm saying clicking on this element. Similarly, you can have you can have after click on. Okay, so after click on, there I'm actually writing some code that element clicked, you can print that element also. So I'm just saying element. Perfect. So most of the time, why we use this event firing WebDriver, why we use this WebDriver listener, there could be many reasons, why we need the WebDriver listener. Is the most useful reason is logging mechanism. Okay, so we need to log these different steps which are happening in the automation. We can actually use this in logging, All right, so excuse me. All right, so I will just quickly run it. Okay, or instead of saying system.println, we already learned reporter, right? Reporter.log, and there I want to say this is the message I want to log. and log it to console also. I will say true. True means log it to console. And there is one more. Oh no, there is no any extra parameter. Yeah. So this is what I will use, reporter.log instead of system.out.println. Okay. Let me add true as well, because I want that output to be printed on console same time, even though it is getting logged. Okay. Don't get confused between logger and listener. Logger is something that just keep information that what is being done, and listener is already I told you listener is invoked based on some trigger. So if the trigger is click, so there will be two listener on before click, on after or after click on. So these are the different listener will be called. So right now what I'm doing is, this is a listener and I'm writing into a log. I'm logging this message, I'm just adding some message to the reporter. All right. So what I will do is, let me run this test case, go back to the example one. So this is my driver. Okay. And this is which driver? This is event firing driver. And to event firing driver, I have already given the object of the listener. So driver.register, you need to pass the object of listener. So automatically those methods will be called. Now what I will do is, let me do something. Driver dot find element by dot name. The name of the text box is q dot send keys. I'm going to search my name, that is Vikas Thange. All right. Next part is, as soon as we type Vikas Thange. Oops, it is getting typed in URL. Okay, let me open google.com. So I will type Vikas Thange and then just click on the Google search or hit enter. All right, so I will prefer to hit enter plus keys dot enter, that we have already learned, so I'm not again telling you what is keys. All right, so again, I haven't written anything which will click on the element. So I'm just going to write one line that click on this element and then set the text. So click on the text box first and then send keys Vikas Thange. All right. I will also write some listener for that send keys, typing a text. So let me find out the listener which you use for typing a text. Go here, @ oh, okay. Before, let me see which listener I can use. So before find by, before script, before accept alert as, okay, change value of. This is the element, this is the listener, before change value of. So it will have previous value and the new value that way. So the keys to send, the element on which you wanted to perform typing, and the driver object. So these are the three things I have. I'm just going to add logger, that is reporter.log, and there I will write typing text. The text which I am typing is keys to send. Okay. Similarly, you can have after change value of, after change value of, I will add reporter dot log value set to text box. Okay. So done with setting value, or you can just have your own message, whatever you want. But right now I'm just doing the simple thing. All right. So let's go back to the example and run the code. Right click, run as test-ng test. Let me close this browser. All right, the browser is getting open. Alright, as you can see, Vikas Tange got typed and the result is also shown. Coming back to the console and see what is printed on the console. So on the console, you should be able to see all the messages. So before opening URL, URL opened, page title is Google. Click on the element, you know which element I'm clicking. So this is the element ID actually. The locator of that element was name queue. The element clicked. So this is called after clicking on the element. Okay, I'm just thinking why that change of method was not getting called. So this is click. All right. Okay, looks like these two methods are not getting called before change value of. I think I need to look into more details why it is not getting called, but that's okay. You know, for now we can just ignore it. But I was expecting these two events should be called. If you want, you can find more details about this event. Just click on here. Or what I will do, I will just go here and looks like it is not having any source code. It has all empty method. You know, basically this is the abstract WebDriver listener event listener, and that implements the WebDriver event listener. You know, so it has do nothing method. If you don't want, just don't override it. If you want to change the definition, just override it. That is the reason you see @override here. You know, because the method is already coming from a base class. I don't want that empty method. I want my own method to be written. So I'm overriding all these methods. We need to check why this before change value of event is not getting called. Let me see if we get some information. All right, so just read out some information. Called before web element clear. Oh, this is only for web element clear. Send keys also, right? See, it is called before web element dot send keys. I'm just wondering why it is not getting called. Is it Selenium's issue or what? But it was expected to be called because this method is called before send keys according to the documentation from the Selenium developer. Okay, we'll find out that reason later, but let's continue with the session. All right, this could be a bug with Selenium. Okay, could be a bug. All right, so I'm going to close this. Okay, after execution, you can see the test output folder is created where you see test.ng report. So if you want to see the test.ng report, just reload the project, refresh, and there you see test output folder. Test output folder basically contains the HTML report. So the HTML report is index.html. Show in, you can say System Explorer. So you will see that file into that folder. So this is my folder, index.html, and just open that file, open that report into some browser, and you will have the test report. So the test report is one method ran and one pass. To the left hand side you see this pass method, the test one is passed. And the reporter output, this is having some formatting issue, just ignore that formatting issue because it shows that reporter output on single line. So before opening URL google.com, next line is URL open google.com in browser. Next line is page title is Google. Next line is clicking on the element. So you see all the logs are added here. Okay, there is an issue with test.ng. It doesn't show the report with the line breaks, you know, properly. But if you inspect that, let's say I'm saying inspect, the internal HTML contains proper sequence. So this is the first line, span, and it has before opening. Second line is before opening this URL, URL open. Third line is page title. Next line is clicking on the element. Then again next line is clicking on this element. So it is line by line, but again, as I said, test.ng doesn't show that the reporter output or the reporter log in, you know, line by line. Actually in HTML you see it is line by line. All right, so that's fine. You know, I just wanted to tell you that where that reporter message goes. So this is all about event firing WebDriver, or you can say WebDriver listener. Why we use the WebDriver listener is main reason is logging purpose. let's say before opening URL you have to do this, or before clicking on the link you have to do this, and after clicking do this. Let's say you have to add some kind of repetitive code executed, has to be executed for every step. For every steps that we are doing, you can have that mechanism. You can just add WebDriver listener, and for every actions that you do on a browser, you can execute your own Java code. So that is the main purpose why we have. Now let's talk about the next topic, that is capturing the screenshot of a page. So capturing a screenshot of a web page is very easy basically. Let's say I wanted to capture snapshot after searching Vikas Thange. Okay, so the code that we use for capturing a snapshot is, there is an interface, takes screenshot, create the object, let's say take snap is equal to typecast your WebDriver into text screenshot. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm typecasting my driver into text screenshot, and the text screenshot, on the text screenshot method I'm calling a method get screenshot as, you see the parameter is output type. So I'm saying output type dot, just ignore it, output type is file. I want snapshot as a file. There are three output type basically. So one is base64, that is a string, byte, it's a byte array, and next is file is object of file class. You see this? So I want to say file because I want that snapshot as a file. So you will say file snap is equal to, okay, it's object name, so lowercase, and don't forget to import file from java.io. Okay, I got the snapshot. So if you want to print the path of the snapshot, you can say system.io system.println snap path. So I will say snap dot. So snap is basically object of file class, and file class has some methods. Get absolute path is the method which we generally use. Okay. Similarly, if you want to take a screenshot, just copy this code. After opening this, or here you can actually do that. But right now I will just ignore it. Let's capture only one snapshot at this time. Let me run this code. Okay, I typed Vikas Thange, enter. Let's go to the Selenium Eclipse and see the console. So console says snapshot path is, this is the snapshot path. Okay, so let me open that path and see if there is really a snapshot present. Okay, actually the problem is this is a temporary location. Do you see this? This is a temporary location. So as soon as the program execution is terminated, Eclipse will clean up the temporary files as well. So that is the reason we are getting error. You see this error? It says Windows cannot find this file because that file has been removed. It is inside a temporary folder. Do you see that? It is a temporary folder. So what you have to do is copy that file into some other location. So I will copy that file. Okay, so there is a method files dot copy. You see this method files dot copy. You have to give source and destination. Okay, from where to where. So let me create object of destination also, because that is again what? It is object of file class, object of file class. I already have a source. Let's create destination. So file destination is equal to, I will say new file, and there you have to give path. I'm going to give path as dot slash let's say search underscore result dot png. I want this snapshot as a png. So dot slash means the current folder. Okay, or you can simply say that search result dot png. Anything is fine. This is my destination. Destination means in my current folder and with this file name. So let's copy that file dot copy. Instead of copy, you can also say move. If you say move, then obviously the file will be deleted from the source. So it will reduce the temporary file size. So I'm saying source is snap to the destination. All right, and I will say message file moved to, and I will print the destination path, destination dot get absolute path. The path which you see here is a relative path. But if you call destination dot get absolute path, you will get path from C:/ that complete drive starting with the drive. All right, so this line may throw exception while moving the file. There might be exception or something. There might be some problem while moving a file. Let's say access denied, or there is no storage available, or something like that. So you have to write that in a try catch block. Okay, I will also add this line inside a try. Okay, so this is my destination. I said files.move from here to here, and just print file moved to this destination. Okay, now let's run this code. So I captured a snapshot. By default, the snapshot is captured into temp folder. Then I moved that file from temp folder into my current folder. Current folder means in the project folder. Okay, come back to console. Read the console. You see snapshot path. Initially the path was this, but then the file moved to this location. So this location is actually the folder, the project. Okay, this is my project, and inside that project a file will be saved. So if you want to see this file, just reload the project. Right click, refresh. You see the snapshot, search result.png. Open with system editor. Okay, open with system editor, and you see the snapshot, which is actually having the web page with the search result for Vikas Thange text. So you see this scroll bars also indicating there is still more page. If you capture a snapshot, it will only capture the snapshot of the visible screen. Selenium WebDriver will not capture the complete web page. In older version of a Selenium, it was capturing the snapshot of whole web page, but that is not the case right now. All right, so that's how we capture a snapshot. Search result.png. I will run that program again. I'm going to run that program again and see what happens. There is already a search_result file present, and still I'm running a program, the test. So a snapshot will be again captured. Come back here, and there you see file moved to, again the same path. So actually what happens, the previous snapshot will be overridden every time if it is already existing. Reload, refresh. So that previous snapshot will be replaced with the new snapshot because the file name is same, because the destination is same. Okay, so this is a code, but guys, this is not reusable. So what I will do is I will cut that code. Okay, create some library or utility, something. I'm creating a class snaps util, and there I will create a method public static. Why I'm making static? Because I want to call this method on class name without creating object. Static methods are associated with a class. We call those methods by class name dot method name. So I'm saying capture snap, paste the code, and this code requires two parameter, basically a driver, and I will also give, I'm saying WebDriver driver, and I will also give the destination file name. So string file name. Okay, the file name I will just, I forgot to write void because this method is not returning anything. And the file name I'm going to say here, instead of having search result.png file name every time, I wanted to make it parameterized. Okay, and this method capture snap, I will call it on snap util class. So snap util dot capture snap, pass the driver and give the file name as snap1.png. Okay. All right. So I gave path as snap1.png, and this method you can call any time whenever you want. Let's say open a google.com and then call this method. So I will say snap0.png, then perform click, you can again call a snap, type something, then call a snap method. That way you can do it. So it will capture two snapshots, snap0 and snap1. So you will have two snapshots. You just have to call this method. But again, guys, we already learned WebDriver listener, right? I can take help of WebDriver listener instead of just calling this snaps here. Okay. So let me create a folder. I'm creating a folder. The folder I will create is, let's say, snaps. Okay. I created a folder as snaps. This is my folder. I want all the snapshots inside snap folder. So go to the WebDriver listener and all the after method. So this is after. Okay. I will capture a snapshot. Snaps util dot capture snap. There you need to pass the driver and give the file name. So the file name I will give is, you can give some file name as, let's say I will make static int counter is equal to, I will start counter with a 1. Okay. So I'm going to say snap plus counter, okay, counter plus plus again plus dot png, counter plus plus and then plus. Okay. So this will be like snap1.png, snap2.png, snap3.png. As many times you call this method, automatically counter will become plus plus. You see this counter plus plus. So counter will get incremented by 1 every time you call this method. So same line I will copy to other after methods. So after typing, then after changing the text, something like that. Not for before, so it's okay. Yeah, okay. So snap, I think we should add some underscore or something, but that's okay. Snap1.png, snap2.png, snap3.png, like that it will keep on going. So the more complex script you write, automatically the snapshot with the number will be created. So coming back to the example, so in coding you don't have to call any method that will actually capture a snapshot, because those events, because that listener will be automatically called for the different event. So I'm saying run. Oh, I forgot to say that snaps slash. Oh, it's my bad. Okay, let me correct my mistake. Going back here. So what I wanted to say is I wanted to have, okay, snap folder, and again this I wanted to say double slash, because it is once for one slash you write double slash in double quotes. So snaps slash 1.png, similarly snaps dot counter number.png, then snaps slash counter number.png, that way. Okay, I corrected my mistake so that the snapshot will go in snaps folder, not any other folder. Swapna says plus should be outside of double quote plus png. Yeah, the plus is outside because it is string concatenation. Guys, see, counter plus plus means some number. Okay, let's say this is 4. Counter plus plus means some number. Okay, so it will be 4.png. The 4 number will be appended to a string, concatenation. So counter plus plus is actually a number. That number will increase every time, and I already declared a counter number. Okay, so let me go back to the snap util and run the script. Oh, not here. Now snap util. I want to run the test case, right? So let's run the test case. Okay. See, let's come back to the test case. Test case execution completed without any failure message. Oh, there is some exception. What is the exception? Uh, the folder name what I gave is snaps, but the path name what I gave is only snap. I forgot to add s. Basically, that was my mistake. Let's correct the mistake. It has to be snaps. Okay, this one also snaps and snaps. Okay, let's run the script again. Guys, you see that there is an exception, right? There is an exception while capturing the snapshot. It says file not found. You cannot save that file at this destination. The snaps folder was not there. So, there was an exception while moving this file. So I already wrote a try catch block. So on this line, I got exception. And because I got an exception, the catch block got executed. And catch block is just having one statement, that is e.print stack trace. And because of this one line, e.print stack trace, this message is printed in red text. This is known as stack trace, which got printed. And I handled that exception. That is the reason my program was not crashed. Or else, let's say if you are not saying try catch and you are simply saying throws, then your test case will be stopped at that point only. But because I handled that exception by myself using try catch block, the program still continued its execution. I hope it is clear. All right, so let me give that program run once again. All right, come back to the test case execution and see this time there is no exception where I see file moved to. So this is a new location. So actually there are total how many snapshot captured? 1.png, 2.png and 3.png. Okay. So let's go back to the snaps folder, refresh it, refresh, expand, and you see 1, 2, 3 PNG. If you want to see all the snapshots, just say show in System Explorer. So this is the folder snaps, and there you see 3 different snapshots. This is 1, 2, 3. So this first 2 snapshots are same because I think I called first after navigate to URL and then after clicking on the text box, but both have the same UI. This snapshot as well as the next snapshot, both are same, but this third snapshot is different because it can, this is after hitting the text and enter key. So yeah, obviously the page is going to be different. So what we learned today is we learned 2 major topics, that is event firing WebDriver. You can also say WebDriver listeners. WebDriver listeners are automatically called before after doing some actions on the page. And the second thing we learn is how to capture a snapshot in Selenium WebDriver, and you can have that snapshot for your Hello, there is some issue with the free conference call. Let me reconnect again.